Hey guys, this is Brutal Lynx. I am back for what was going to be a quick fix because I found some ratchet shit on the internet. Of course, at World Star Hip Hop, my favorite place. But in watching it, I had, because I do my YouTube thing, and I went through and I found a video from Tamaya. And, if I find somebody that I like and subscribe to, I will go through all of their shit. I will look at every single damn video, the whole nine yards. And he had a video up that begged the question that, kind of coincided with the Ratchet video. So, I am going to pretty much do this off the cuff. Hopefully, it won't turn out horrible. I didn't really get a chance to write down everything because, well, I'm at work. So, let's get this shit started. First, the ratchetness. I will put a link to this shit at the bottom of the video, but it wasn't as funny as, the bus driver uppercutting that chick. And it definitely wasn't the kind of beatdown that was, the light skinned versus dark skinned girls. It wasn't that kind of thing. But basically, there was a fellow at a Waffle House. I know, right? How trashy can you get? At a Waffle House, calling a group of gay people faggots. Now, I am not one to be like, they should have whooped his ass, blah, 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 blah. That's not my thing. But I do deal in reality. And in dealing in reality, yeah, you got the freedom of speech. You can say whatever the hell you want to say. But go to a movie theater and yell fire and see if yo ass don't get arrested. Because guess what? Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from the responsibility of the bullshit that you say. If you admit to committing a crime that you never committed, you admitted to it, that will be held against you and get in court, and yo ass is going to jail. So freedom of speech is not freedom from responsibility. So if you had the dumbass idea, because first off, he was one man. This was like 3 or 4 gay people. First off, if you're going to talk shit, and you're going to talk shit to a group of people, don't be bitch made. You better be able to make sure that you can whoop every single person in that group's ass. Why? Because you get ready to say some outlandish, crazy shit, and somebody just might pop off on you. I'm not saying that it's right that they pop off on them, but we do deal in reality, and the reality is talk shit, get hit. Don't talk shit, you won't get hit. It's a very simple rule. And he was apparently talking shit, and he got up in this girl's face, and he didn't like, all right, he did put hands on her. He did. But he didn't hit her. I think he like touched her arm or something like that. It didn't look like he like slapped her or punched her or anything. He just like touched her. And she was like, oh, I'm not having any of this touching me shit. And she smacked his ass back, and he smacked her ass. And mind you, it all happened really quick. Then he smacked her, and the moment he touched her, all those fags that were with her jumped on his shit. There was windmilling. Well, not so much windmilling, but I mean, they weren't throwing punches. They were kind of shit. And I got my life from it. I was like, you know what? Serves his ass right. Shouldn't have been talking shit to a group of people, no less. Now, should they have jumped him? No. They really should have just let the woman whoop his ass. That's what they should have done, because she was a big bitch. And Jesus, like, what did you think? Did you really think that you were going to walk into this place and look at a group of people, call them out their name, a derogatory term no less, and you weren't going to suffer any repercussions for it? You think that because they were gay, they were just going to sit back and handle it and deal with it? They dealt with it, all right, and they dealt with your ass too. It was funny, hilarious. There'll be a link to this at the bottom. But what's real fucked up is that the entire time I'm watching this video going, are they all wearing stretch pants? Every single one of them. The big bitch, right on down to all the gays, they were all wearing stretch pants. And really all I wanted to do was clock the T on their stretch pants. But then it's like, you know what? I'm not going to, because they might find me and whoop my ass. And I am not about it. And it's like, I'll fight you one-on-one. And that's if you coming for me. But I don't know that I can handle a gaggle of anybody. But then I saw another video where some guy was talking about, oh, that's a hate crime, that's a hate crime. Well, if it was a crime, if it was a hate crime of any kind, it was a hate crime against hate. Not once did any of the homosexuals who were assaulting the straight man say anything heterophobic. They did not call him a breeder. They did not call him, a kitty chaser. They didn't call him anything outside of that. They called him a motherfucker. They called him that shit. But he was the one who started it with his mouth, yelling derogatory shit. So I put it to you like this. If a white guy walked into a place and there was a bunch of black people and he was just like, y'all all are a bunch of niggers. That's all you all are. You're all just a bunch of niggers. And then they whooped his ass. Is that a hate crime? Well, I guess it's a hate crime against hate, really. But it's not a hate crime against him. He's the one who said all that shit. Why would you do that? There was no common sense there. Because essentially what he did was no different than a white guy walking into an establishment, calling a bunch of people niggers and then getting his ass whooped, and everybody else would hoot, holler, and cheer and be like, that's right, you get them. But guess what? The word faggot is just as bad as the word nigger. So don't think that you can walk around saying faggot, 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 and then have a bunch of gays deal with it and just not say anything to you about it. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a different damn time. We are getting sick of the bullshit. And that's essentially what it is. When you beat up another person or another group of people so much as has been done for decades and decades, eventually they will rebel. That's just the way it goes. Eventually they will fight back. And this new generation of gay people, these bitches are crazy. They will pull a razor blade from under their tongue and slice your ass. Do not think they won't. The gay kids these days, they have no qualm with whooping your ass. So, A, think twice before you speak. B, keep your hands to your goddamn self. Because if he had never even touched this woman, he wouldn't have got his ass whooped. If he had never said the dumb shit, he would have never got his ass whooped. If he just kept his stupid opinions to himself and kept his mouth shut, he'd have been all right. So, really, you don't have to accept what I do, because what I do is not in your bedroom. What I do is not in your house. What I do is not important to you. But you do have to respect me, and respecting me entails that I'm going to get the exact same treatment as everybody else. And if you're going to walk into a group and call a group of homosexuals faggots, you better be ready to go to a group of white folk and call them whatever derogatory term you want to call them, and anybody else. And be ready for the ass whooping. That's just the way it goes. I don't know. The dude got his ass whooped by a bunch of gays for calling them faggots. Serves his ass right. He shouldn't have fucking said it. I'm not going to walk into, some establishment and call a bunch of white people any old thing I'm going to call them. And I'd be damned if I'm going to have like a white person call, or any other race of person call me a nigger. That ain't gonna happen either. Guess what? I'm gonna whoop their ass too. And ain't nobody gonna call me a faggot. You can sit here and say it online all you want, but you hiding behind your computer screen and you're not saying it to my face where I can then rearrange it. Most people don't have the balls to say this type of shit to my face because of my size and color and everything. But that's a different story. So anyhow, I was going to do a brutal Lynx quick fix just on that. And that is what it was going to be. But then I saw the video, the guy calling it a hate crime, which, bullshit. It was a crime, all right. It was assault. I'm not even going to try to defend that. That was assault. They assaulted that man because he said something, and you can't go around beating the crap out of people because of words they say. That being said, this is reality, and in reality, you say some shit to piss somebody off, somebody might pop off. And if somebody might pop off, you might get your ass whooped or you might not, but either way, don't go around trying to scream foul when you started the goddamn fight. Don't want to hear it. Anyhow, I was watching Tamaya's stuff, and he had a video that was basically asked the question, and I know it's an old video, but that's okay. He asked the question, what price do you pay for being gay? Now, he had his own ideas and his own views, and that's fine. But it kind of brought up a lot of stuff. I stopped and I thought for a second. What's the real tea? What price do I pay for being an openly gay man? And the price of being me, of being who and what I am, is pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy price. I mean, there are states that I really can't live in. And people say, oh, this is America. You can live wherever you want. Once again, I deal in reality. And given that I deal in reality, being a gay black man, I'm not going to move to Alabama. Not going to happen. Not going to move to a place where the nearest gay bar, to each other is 30, 40, 50 freaking miles away. And they're always getting firebombed. And there are people out there writing down license plate numbers and all this. I'm not about it. I'm not going to do it. I cannot live there. I cannot live there because I refuse to live my life that way. But that's a price to pay to kind of be delegated to single areas or metropolitan areas, because cities do protect us. They really do, because when you have to live in a place that has so many different people from so many different walks of life, not everybody who lives here grew up together. We don't all know each other. Everybody's from different countries and different states and different nationalities and different everything, that you kind of sort of have to just, you know what? You do you, I'm going to do me, and we're just going to leave each other alone because I got shit to do. I got babies to kiss. I got bitches to fuck. I got things to do. I do not have time to sit here and belittle you. So, I mean, cities are protective, and because it's a city, blah, 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 there are social acceptances, and in those social acceptances, one of them is no bigotry. And that's how a city can protect us. But if you think about it, I'm kind of stuck. I kind of have no choice but to live in a city. I kind of have no choice but to kind of be on the Northeast, or staying up in New York and Massachusetts, places where I'm legal. And that's a heavy price to pay. I think the other price that I pay is financially. I pay taxes, I work, I purchase, but to be told that my dollar is fine but I am not, that's kind of messed up, because I feel like I'm doing my part and I'm still kind of being hated on for it. The other price I guess you pay are the relationships that you lose, because granted, I am a big proponent of your life as a story. And given that your life is a story, not every character from every chapter is going to show up in that next chapter of your life. So just because someone was here now doesn't mean that they're going to be in that next page when you flip it. That being said, it still hurts. When you have a lot of people that you either grew up with or that you were close to, that you shared a lot of things with, that you treated like family and that treated you like family, and then the moment they find out that you're gay, all of that changes. They don't seem to realize that you're the same person. You were gay before you came out. And they will just drop you and not talk to you and not be your friend anymore. And that's still painful. They don't have to be in the next chapter, and that's fine. They obviously were not meant to be in that next chapter, but it still kind of hurts to lose them. And I guess the other price you pay is that the world looks at you as something less than, as something evil, as something not as good as. And a lot of people can say, oh, people have their opinions and they can talk all they want to talk, yada, yada. It's still a society that we live in. And because we live in a society, you need your neighbors. You need the person next to you. You need the person in the car in front of you. You need the person behind you. And you all need to be able to work together. But when you're seen as being less than, you get looked over. I think a lot of my experience also has to do with my color. The only difference being that I can hide that I'm gay. I can't hide that I'm black. And being black and gay, I never know which one they're going after me for. Is it because I'm gay, or is it because I'm black, or is it because of both? But I can't hide the black. And in choosing to not hide the gay, let's just say that, I am ostracized from a lot of black communities. The only black communities that really embrace me are the gay black communities. Um, and of course, I'm not the same kind of gay as, what's portrayed on TV. So even amongst my own gays, sometimes I'm, a little, oh, you like what? You like football? That's weird. Uh, but there's a steep price to pay, and I think one of the largest, or the top, has to be your legal protections. There's a lot of legal protections that you just don't have, and that you will never have if they don't stop this separate but equal bullshit. We've been down this road before, and we know that it doesn't work. So why do we continue to go down that road? I'll never understand it. But yeah, is there a price to pay? And a lot of people would like to say, well, I'm not paying any price, I'm just going to be me. That's cool, but it's not reality. And it's not reality in the sense of there are people who are in charge and in control over what you can and cannot do as long as you decide to reside in this country. You can't just go around breaking laws. And that's a pretty heavy toll. That's a pretty heavy price to be able to look at your neighbors and know that they're treated better because they're straight. Even though they yell at each other all the time, their kids ain't got, kids walking around dirty and their houses are dirty and everything. For all intents and purposes, they're trash. Yet they get treated better than I would be treated. And that's kind of ridiculous, and I don't quite like it. But yeah, that is it. This is not so much of a quick fix as I wanted it to be. Check out the video, have a good laugh. But what price did you personally have to pay for being gay? And if I had to say a personal price that I had to pay for being gay, I would say that personal price was mostly mental stability, anguish, the emotions that I had to deal with, the harassment, all of these things are, that was a heavy toll. And that toll was taken, and I mean, to this day, it's actually no shade, no tea to my straight people or my straight friends, but to this very day, I have a hard time trusting straight people. I have a hard time liking straight people. I kind of make them have to jump through hoops before I'll even talk to you. It's like I'll talk to you professionally, but outside of that. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying is it was the price that I had to pay, was that emotional stability, that ability to, just embrace people and trust them and love them. I have been so screwed over that my mind won't get out of the way of that. And that's a pretty heavy price to pay, to live in a society where you're constantly looking over your shoulder trying to see if somebody is, out to get you, or somebody's going to hit you, or somebody's going to assault you, or that's a pretty heavy price to pay, to have to live your life like that. And that's the personal price that I had to pay. And I'm still paying for it. It done fucked up my emotional credit report and everything. I ain't got shit. Doesn't mean I don't try. Doesn't mean I don't, try to move up and move on and move forward. I have a lot of great straight people in my life. I've a lot of people who have showed me that not everyone is that way. But in the back of my head, it's still there. So that's the price I had to pay. What was the price you had to pay for being gay if you're gay? Or what's the price you have to pay for being different? What if you're emo? Or what if you're goth? Or what if you're androgynous? You're not gay, straight, bi, you're just androgynous. What price do you have to pay for being you? So yeah, don't forget to subscribe up above. Don't forget to like and share and all that other great stuff. You can always follow me on Twitter at LynxBear. You can find me on Facebook as Brutal Lynx Bear. You can also check out BrutalLynx.com. I wanted this to be kind of a funnier video, but this one, I don't know. It just kind of hits me here, and it's very difficult to even try to make light of a situation. So if you want to laugh, enjoy the ass whooping. Otherwise, go on ahead and answer the question. What price did you have to pay to be you?